I'd now like to welcome on stage our openings keynote speaker of the day, Mr. Solomon Sagayaraj Michael, who is the Head of Information Security at the Qatar Islamic Bank. Solomon is a seasoned cybersecurity executive with over 25 years of experience. If we could have you up on stage, please.
Assalamu alaikum, Saidati, Sadati, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an August and my privilege to be standing in before this August group to deliver this. And it's been a challenge also, the first speaker, because it sets the tone for the day. And also it's somewhat need to connect the relevant topics to this, to the forum, what is going to continue the whole day. So without taking much time, I would quickly go into the whole session of this. I would like to cut it half by 8 minutes to 9 minutes so that I have some questions from you all. First, this is not a forum for, the session is not going to cover what's in the law and other things, that's you already know. So what I would thought about this morning also, so give some practical point of view, so that we can look at it, maybe you are practicing this, what we can look into or what we can look forward into in our organizations whilst we are all building the privacy program across the organization. I believe everybody is doing this right now in one form or the other. With that note, I'm proceeding with this. Just a little bit of, 𝐸𝐴𝐶, the well-known security leader who has now in the last few years they've been focusing on the privacy. So these are some of the things which is interesting, which people need to look at it. The good news now is privacy has been a subject very eventually or very one of the topics that is going on the board level. And apparently the news on the flip side is there is a scarcity of the resources and the talent. This is the research report as of 22. So every year, Privacy in Practice is a white paper along with some nice information, a report being formed by 𝐸𝐴𝐶, and this is being published, and it's a public information available. It's nothing shortage of anybody who would reach out to this. So if we can pay attention to this, we see that legal and technical compliance. For people, when you talk about privacy or protection, they think it's only legal subject, why should we worry about it? So yes, there is a legal portion to it, there is also a technical portion to it, so we need to focus on both as an organization while we build this privacy program or protection program in particular. Reasons for failure. One of the things that I would focus on for the group here is it's basically not building the privacy design at the applications and services. This is something very important because one form or the other, we have been adopting applications. Is it either it's an on-premise or it's going to be cloud. So we are adopting applications and that application is going to collect immense amount of customer information, privacy information related to the employee information. So are we taking due care in A, understanding is this application what it connects, what it collects. Second, where it is going to store this information. What is the protection that we have done around it? So these are the few things that this particular reason for failure highlighted by this research institution. I'm sorry. I'm not used to this. So I just want a little bit of thinking for you all, actually. So what constitutes is this key points? Basically, what type of data are we collecting, where it is stored, why are we first of all collecting this? Is there a business purpose for doing this? That means, is it collected only for a one-time activity? After that, are we going to take it off
Is it like that? Or is it going to stay with the organization for quite some time? So when we say it is going to stay in the process for quite some time, are we getting into the process of thinking that there is a data lifecycle management? Are we looking at that angle? So that is the point we need to look into. And whether we like it or not, we have never thought about it with partners, with people we work with. Especially, I'm trying to talk to the people in the HR departments here, maybe representing. So they share a lot of information with the third-party organization for research purpose, for doing many works. For a general service department they give, engineering department they give. So please, let's be cognizant of what information are we really required to give, how long that access is going to be there, and how long this is going to be sustained in the process. Is there a way that we can kill this information down the line? That's what the next level. Sorry. I would like to, this diagram gives a contextual view of the whole in a nutshell. See, when you start from the left-hand side, first of all, the data subject, the data owner, all those informations are there. So if you start a particular program, just look at from left-hand side to right-hand side, you have a business case, you know what you're trying to collect, and what are the prevailing laws that you have, and then in that context, you have a strategy of, yes, I collect this information in the form of so many applications. On the other hand, okay. So on the other side, we have the PAI information that is coming in the form of applications, data collections. So those has to be processed in the middle tier, collection, storing, using, transferring, and finally securely destroying. So this, when it comes, there are little arguments, I'm not getting there, but just we need to think through this process that we need to prepare ourselves towards, if it possible, a data minimization. How I can minimize this information possible. After that, get rid of this information if possible. So these are the things that we need to look into going forward. And one of the information that is, if you have the whole process, then the right-hand side comes to the picture of your safeguarding. For example, we have one form of the other DLP in all our organizations. Please, we can use them to run discovery scans and find out what's the input that is coming, what's the output that's going to come from that. And try to compare that these are the places where my privacy information, my card information is there, my other informations are there. So why can't we put some context around it and see is that protection is properly there? So we can little bit in our privacy program or a protection program think about that. And having understood the law, this is what the basic steps I have given there from a practical standpoint. Wherever you are, whichever level of the program is, please start our gap assessment and then start looking at your PII inventory. Like, what constitutes the PII inventory? Is my processes inside the organization? It's a very tedious process, and it is not only information security or somebody who is responsible for this needs to do this. It's a pan-organization effort. So everybody comes into the picture. We have a data protection officer. We need to put the right people around this and start working on this. And finally, all the important two things are there. One is your breach notification process. As per the law, you are supposed to notify the impacted person and also the authority. The competent authority should be done. In this case, it's CDP. When this law was published, CDP was the person. And the next is, the important is the training and the awareness. The training and the awareness is, at least you're making sure of your first line of defense, your staff. Maybe there is a session coming down the line today. They're focusing on social engineering. They're focusing on some soft skills of people, the human part of the firewall of people protecting the organization. So we can give a little bit of training on that so that people are aware, A, of the privacy information, B, they have known the method, C, they can prevent it wherever they are possible. So with that note, I leave the floor open for any questions.
morning.
Good morning, sir. Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam. This is Khadir Yafi. I'm from Sidra Medicine.
Sorry, sir, I couldn't.
Yeah, it's working. So this is Khalid Yafi. I am from Sidra Medicine. So thank you for being the first presenter. I agree what you have been said. But from your working place, like you said, you are from the Islamic Bank in Qatar. Did you deploy any data at this time to the clouds? Are you using clouds? Because you know now, like the work ongoing with the Ministry of Transportations and TASMO with the Microsoft and Azure clouds. So is there like any collaborations, and did you have like any plan moving some of the data, especially like related to the bank and all these personal informations to the clouds? Thank you.
I cannot draw conclusion directly to this, which as you and me represent organizations, but I would give the principle around it actually. See, nowadays moving to the cloud or adopting cloud is becoming inevitable as part of the technology disruption. We all agree that, one form or the other. So when we really need to move, if you can refer this law as well as you can go to the Cloud Security Alliance. The Cloud Security Alliance gives a clear framework for us. So if you are adopting a cloud, be it a SaaS, be it a IaaS, be it a PaaS, so they have distinct material given. If you can go to cloudsecurityalliance.org, you have wonderful materials there in terms of these SaaS. And more important is if you, in the process of going, so the most important is which jurisdiction they are into, which area this is going to store. So what type of regulation that will, for example, it's going to be in the Europe, EU directive comes into the picture. Are we under that particular vendor is under the GDPR? You need to put your due diligence. That's exactly what we have told in here. So we need to really understand where your data going to reside, ask the right question, and more important is to have the data processing agreements or data processing some sort of contracts between them to understand where it is. And you have to do your due diligence. There is no, everybody one form or the other going to adopt into this. But we need to take care of the protection our side.
Hi, thank you for the presentation.
Hi.
I have a question when it comes to resources. You mentioned that finding the right resource from technical perspective, from compliance perspective, is a big challenge. And our area here in the Middle East is actually new to data privacy laws. And new laws are coming from Qatar region, and new law also is implied from QFC, Qatar Financial Center. And honestly, we are a little bit struggling implementing the law when it comes to resources.
You need, if I understand your question, how do you address the resource issue, correct?
How to address the resource issue and how to find the right training and arrangements to train our resources to be able to implement the privacy law.
I would take this in two folds, the question. So if you are interested in enriching your knowledge, knowing about more in terms of privacy, without spending much time, much of your money, this is Cloud Security Alliance gives wonderful articles, first of all. If you really want to take this as a serious thing and you want to prepare your organization towards doing or preparing a faculty of persons and a competence center, possibly you should look into the IAAP sort of courses, because that's available in the market right now, the International Association of Privacy Professionals. So that's the only authentic organization, authority in the subject. They have variety of courses that's available for us to get into. Possibly personal time you're available, I would be more than happy to talk to you in the coffee break. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think with that note, thank you all, and wish you all the very best and wish you all the good.